one really big ice cream sandwich. It's kind of windy, but that's okay. It's kind of windy because it's windy. That's a big one. It's also windy because it's stormy outside. It's also windy because I didn't silence my phone. Let me just... There we go. Fixes that problem. I feel like PewDiePie leaning back in his seat. Does it do this? You know. That's a good one. That's a good one. I have some really interesting things to show you today. By things I mean, I have two things. Well, one thing is multiple things. Multiple of the same thing. Not multiple things. The next one, it's actually also kind of multiple things, but slightly different. Multiple things. Both items. Wow. They're different from each other. They're not the same by any means. And then one of the items, well, is composed of three things. Four things if you include the packaging. We're going to. It's composed of four things. The other object is composed of two things. Two things. One thing as a whole. When you split it apart, it's two things. Different things. You see, they're not the same. So the first thing, we have a lens cap here. But the lens cap isn't just a lens cap. It's actually a cap that goes on the camera side of things. Stop dust from getting into the camera. Just want to get in the camera. Just take a step back here. Now, what's really cool about this, I don't know if you can still see me. What's really cool about this is it opens up into two separate things, slightly similar. It sounds really cool. So we can open it with one hand here. I just tightened it. I think. No, it's gotta go that way. Okay. I don't know if it's possible. It's actually quite difficult. Loosen it with my other hand, which is cheating, so we're not going to count it. Now, the real money maker today, I'm going to sit up here. I'm just going to sit up. Comes from Nomad. Something, I can't read it, but we got three sponges. God, I fucking love sponges. I don't know why. I just think they're so neat. It's like you have this thing that just, it's like a straw, just sucks up water. I don't know. It's really cool. But these have a spongy side that you would expect, very cellulose, and also an abrasive sort of paper mache-like side that looks like you took a bunch of cotton threads and just slung them out of a paint gun or something. The wrapping is made out of cardboard. One side we have the barcode. The other side, adjacent, opposite, is a Danish instruction on how to recycle said packaging. The front says it's a 3-piece cellulose, I'm assuming sponge. And on the opposite side of that, it says the same thing. So, just as fancy. Let's open this up. Sponge, 2 sponge, 3 sponges. Which one looks the best? Definitely this one. I like to think about when these are being made, if it's just like a large sponge sheet, and then like it gets cut like cake, because that's cool. But it's also neat if it's like poured into like a mold, and then they plop them out like ice cubes, but sponge form. I actually licked one of these yesterday because I was like, oh, it's probably gonna like suck the moisture out of my tongue. It was gonna feel strange, right? They have it coated in something. It was not a fun experience. It tasted kind of like poison. What do you expect? I don't even know if these are real sponges or if they were made in like a factory. I don't know. Not natural, but listen to that. just one really big ice cream sandwich, like a double-decker right there. Or if you do it like this, it's like one ice cream sandwich, but they put an extra layer of ice cream on the bottom. Silly goobers. Can you believe it? Or if you do it like this, it's like they had one really big ice cream sandwich and then stuck another ice cream sandwich on the side of it that was normal sized. So you don't know which one messed up. Was it they had one regular ice cream sandwich and then a double-decker accidentally got stacked against it? Or was it a double-decker ice cream sandwich where a regular one got stuck against it? The world may never know. It's one of those conundrums that stand the test of time. If you put them like this, it looks like a house. Do with that information what you will. I'm not your keeper. But if you do write it down in the literacy books to share with your children and your children's children, make sure you take a selfie first so they knew what you looked like when you made your discovery. Right? I thought these had a smell. I don't know what I smelled for like 2 seconds. But it's not the sponges. You see, when I had COVID, which was like 4 months after the whole COVID thing started, my smell has not been the same since. Sometimes I get these random, perfumey, weird, I don't know, it sucks. It's awful. It's not a good time. It's not very fun. It's not very enjoyable to live a part of that life, you know. No, boy howdy. You know, I'm getting too young for this. Too young for laying on the floor. Too young. Man. So. Sometimes I feel like I'm sitting in the middle of an empty vacuum of space. And I'm watching all the planets and their solar systems and galaxies are swirling around me. And then I realize maybe I'm swirling around them, you know? Maybe. But I'm stuck in place. Am I? Who knows? There's no correct answers in this world. There's only questions. There's only questions. And different ways of looking at things. None of this makes any sense anyway. None of it does. It's like when you're in school and your teacher's like, you have 2 apples and someone takes an apple away. How many apples do you have? 1 apple. And on the test, it's like, you have 2 apples. Now, multiply that by the mass of an elephant who just gave birth on the western side of a safari. But the baby was slightly larger than it was supposed to be because it was late term. It only eats organic wheat. And the elephant had a history of high blood pressure. And the multiple choice answers are like blue, platypus, bamboo stick, and peanut butter. And that's what life feels like. A multiple choice test where all the answers are nonsense. There is one answer that's not nonsense, though. It's being true to yourself. That'll never be nonsense. How could it be? You're all you've ever known. It's actually kind of weird thinking that the only person that's with you from like birth to death is yourself, and most of us are going to spend our entire lives knowing less about ourselves than we do about other people. was that? So weird. Self-reflection, it's an important thing. People don't do it a lot. If you're watching this and you're like, wow, I've never once considered who I am. Who is Mitchell? Who is Rebecca? Who am I? And what does that mean? Not just the things I like and the characteristics I have that I've acquired from other people throughout my walk of life that I've picked up along this mysterious journey. Not qualifying factors, but who am I? What makes me tick? Why do I get out of bed in the morning? What's my purpose? How am I going to take this gift that I've been given and open it instead of throwing it into the nearest bayou and hoping an alligator eats it? I just don't know. I just don't know. Maybe you know. Maybe you're someone with all the answers. Maybe. Maybe you're someone with just more questions. Either way, I'm going to tell you right now, one of those is not better than the other. They're equal. They are equal in their design, in their existence, because they complete each other. Without one, you wouldn't be able to have the other. So, that's a cliche we hear a lot. The yin, the yang. We know it all too well, but we never really stop to think about how important it is. How much it makes sense past its cheesy implementation. Man, I really wish this was an ice cream sandwich. Or cake. It looks like cheesecake. Like this is the graham cracker crust. And this is the cheesecake. I like that. Here's your cheesecake. Would you like some? If you're lactose intolerant, then it's like cheeseless cake. It's just cake. 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 Okay. Sometimes I wonder how long to make my YouTube videos, so the algorithm is like, yo, this is tight, dog. And then I get so worked up worrying about it that I stop caring entirely. If you fold them like I just did. Okay, hold on. We put them together like this. And we close one in on the bottom, right? Yep. And then we close the other one, which ends up like here. It's the same amount of distance from here to here. That is from here to here. Mathematics, I don't know. It's like when you do the triangle thing with the hypotenuse and the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. I think that's what that is. I'm so far out of school I don't remember. And it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. I'm not on cash cab. If I was on cash cab, I would definitely tell them about these sponges. Which brings me into the next point. A really, really easy transition into thank you to my patrons. You all are amazing. You help with my brain fuzziness and sad time, bad time. Really ease the stress of living, you know? And you make content creation so much more fun. And to all the people that watch my channel, big thumbs up to you too. Seriously. Feedback, community, chit-chatting. Feeling like I'm not alone in this world because of you all. Because I don't talk to people in the real world anymore. I don't, unless it's for work. And then I meet them for like 12 hours and then they're on to another tour, project, or production, and it's hard to make friends. So, thank you all for being my friend and keeping me sane on nights like these. So, thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure. pleasure chit-chatting with you, and I just want to say you are the darn tootinest, hootin', holleringest people I've ever had and the benefit of talking to in my life. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, from the deepest depths, the fatness, deepest, darkest corners in the pits of my heart, I do say, bless you.